I'm Rob G. This is Emma. We are M and G, and we are here with the Divas of DC.
What bars? You like that?
What? Anyway, I'm sorry. This is Divas Tackles and Touchdowns.
Yeah.
Coming to you talking every week about the DC Divas. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Emma and I both, we're content creators and mostly in sports. We do a lot of sports stuff. We've shot everything, football, baseball, basketball, everything.
But today we got a chance to talk to some of our international girls from the Divas team, like Yasmin, Kaz O.
Boom. All right, Yasmin, I got to ask you. How did you get into football?
So in the UK, the world of possibilities is uni, or college, university. So on my third year of uni, I've been playing basketball basically ever since I was like a teenager. Played it in my first 2 years of uni. In my third year of uni, I decided that I was going to really give it the big one to the boys at the uni team. I was like, yeah, I could join American football. I'd beat you all. Like, it was fine. Then like, come to trials then. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. Went to trials, had no idea what I was doing. I was running through some cones. I think I hit a few things. Like, I have no idea what I was doing. And then at the SU, the student union, which is like the bar, we went up there the next day, and the coach came up to me and he sat me down and he was like, look, I just really want to talk to you about your trial. And I was like, oh, like, this isn't going to go well. Maybe I embarrass myself. And he was like, you're actually quite good. I think we could work with you and do something. I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. So I went to training, and then I ended up as starting left tackle for the Chichester Spitfires in my third year. So I was 20. I would have been 20 by then. And that's how I started playing. And then I was lucky enough that when I went to the Brunel game, which is another uni, like a rival uni that we played, I was in bright yellow lowers because I was a new member of the team, and obviously lowers are mostly made for men, not women, so they didn't have any that fit me, so I had to wear bright yellow ones. I was the only person on the team in yellow lowers, and was then spotted on the other team by a coach who coached the women's team. And then they invited me along to play with them. So that's how I joined the team. I joined the London Warriors, and the rest is history. That's how I'm here.
All right. So as far as women's tackle, like the American football there, is it bigger than it is here?
No. It's really celebrated, and it's a circle that if you're in it, it seems like a huge circle with loads of people that know about it. But if you had never had any idea that American football existed in the UK, you'd have no idea it existed.
Okay.
Unless you go to one of the games at Tottenham, and then everyone, gets out their Kelsey shirt or their Brady shirt, and everyone's a fan now for the two teams that have come to London because it's an excuse to have a pint. So
Starting off playing with the boys team and then transferring to play with the girls team, how was that? Like, how was the adjustment for that?
So technically it's mixed. Yeah. So we have uni teams are mixed, and adult football teams are mixed. It's just you don't often see the mix. The transition is mostly that you'll get some men that you'll train with that will just hit you as hard as they would hit everyone else, and it's great training. Like, I will always applaud someone who's just like, yeah, fine, like, I don't really care. Some of them don't even know, because obviously once you got your pads on, unless you scream or go, ooh, and they're like, oh, you're a woman. Yes, I'm a woman. But the real transition is the mentality. I think training with men versus training with women is completely different. I would say men are a lot more physical straight away, in terms of you go hit that, they go yes, bang, hit it, no problem, and they ask questions later. I feel like being part of a women's team is a lot more technique based. So you say, hit that, and the woman will go, do I stand on the left or the right? Do I use the inside hand or the outside hand? I feel like women ask a lot more questions first to make sure they're doing it right, whereas men will just absolutely, and then they'll go, oh, right, was that okay? And then you'll tell them. So I think it's just about being able to flip your thinking, just being able to do versus being able to think about what you're doing first. I think that's the biggest change.
I'm pretty sure that's the nicest way that I've ever been called dumb, right? I'm pretty sure that's what you're saying. I'm pretty sure you're saying that guys are dumb.
I said more physical. I said more physical.
Oh.
She said guys are more, into it.
Yeah, they just go right bang. Women ask a lot more questions first.
So she knows I'm right too.
But no one disagreed. I disagreed. But
What about the Divas?
Yes.
How and why did you want to come and play for the Divas?
So playing in America has been on my list for a while. I've really wanted to play because post Worlds in 2022, we obviously played against the USA as Team Great Britain, and at half time it was really, a 50-50 game. It was 14-14 going into the half. So at one point we were like, we could win this, like we could be the best in the world. Obviously the USA being like the team that made the sport and is like a well-oiled machine, just sort of ran away with it at the end. And from then I was like, this is it. Like if I'm going to go and play anywhere, I need to go and play in the US, where that's where the best of the best are, and like show them that I can also be the best of the best. So post Worlds, I got a message from a couple of teams, and one of them that I spoke to and reached out to was the Divas. It just happened that it's taken a few years to come to fruition because I went to play in Europe, and then GB season kind of took over, and I was playing with my domestic team, and then obviously life and work and all of that stuff. And then Ron, who is the GM and OC of the Divas, messaged me and was like, let's make this happen. And then we got on a Zoom call, and the rest is kind of history. That was in August, I think, maybe September. And he was like, are we going to make this happen? I was like, yeah, okay. He was like, cool, I'll phone you in a couple of weeks. And here we are.
Transition from the UK to the US, like.
Well, the biggest transition is that it's 11s. So at domestic league, we only play 9s. Mm-hmm. National league, we play 11s. Mm-hmm. So for the training that we do every week, we only play 9s. Same size field, just with 9 people instead. So we only have 3 on the O-line.
Yeah.
So that was the first adjustment, sort of playing 11s all the time, as opposed to only playing it some of the time. It's also nice to just be in a team where I'm kind of allowed to just play O-line. I love in domestic team and at GB that I get a chance to play special teams because I think they're great.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to run at someone and hit them. So
why
would you not want to do it? And then also on my home team, I get to play a bit of D-line. But it's really nice to sort of come here and just be able to play left tackle and be able to just develop at left tackle. Because sometimes, jack of all trades, master of none. It's nice to be able to just play that one position and get better at it. So.
All right. What about, had you spent much time in America before you played for the Divas?
No, not unless holidays count. So, and that's like New York, that's not, I don't think that's comparable to Washington. That was like, oh wow, look, Times Square, oh wow, look at Diner where people sing, like, you can't compare that to Washington, like.
Right.
So no, not really, no.
What do you think about your experience living here in America while you're playing?
So much more chilled than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
I thought it was going to be so different. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I've only been to 2 different places in America. I've been to San Francisco and I've been to New York, and both of them are very, very different places. Like, so I don't know if I'm really judging based on a very good sort of plethora of experience. But I don't know what I expected. It's nothing like that. Everyone is so friendly. Everyone is nice and approachable. The driving is a bit crazy.
Yeah.
The roads are a bit scary.
Yeah.
Stop talking about
Traffic I'm used to because London. But it's actually been a lot easier to settle here than I thought it would be. I think the hardest thing is the distance because it's like 9 hours home, and the time difference is 5 hours. So when you're getting up, everyone at home's already more or less lived their day.
Right.
So you're trying to find those little pockets where you can call someone or can text someone. I guess that can be difficult, but actually just moving here, it's fine. It's shocking.
What's up? What's your favorite? I mean, you said you like special teams because you want to go down and hit people. Mm-hmm. But what is your favorite part about the game? Aha!
You might have to put some
You
might have to put some elevator music in the middle, so So the favourite part of the game will be the units, like the units that you create. So I think every team that I've been a part of, I'm obviously part of a unit, and I take the field with those 5 people every game. And I think the relationships you build as part of an offensive line, I think that would be my favourite part of the game. I think every team that I've been with, it's been so easy to just form like a real family, you know, a real good cohesion. Like, you have your inside jokes, you know, you've got that support. When you're angry, they're angry. When you're sad, they're sad. You know, when you're happy and you're hyped, they're hyped. And I think, I know, obviously, you know, you have your group of receivers, you have your group of, but I think being in the trenches, like being one of the lines, I don't think anyone could ever beat that, because your cohesion is formed in a way that essentially means if you don't do your job, someone's really going to get hurt. And I think that changes the dynamic of what your relationship is. Like, the trust that you have to have with the person on one side and the other is completely different to, you got to trust someone to catch a ball, because okay, they might get hurt, but the difference is if you five don't do your job, your quarterback could have potentially 5 or 6 people that's absolutely just going to smack in the face, and then they could really get hurt. So I'd say, yeah, the unit that you form when you take the field on the O-line, that's the best bit.
So outside of Divas, you and your teammates, like, how was building that connection, you know, forming that family outside of just football?
JJ wants to take me raving, so I've been told that Raven is a good way to do it.
That's going to be an experience.
Snacks and food is always a good way to build a good relationship as well. You've always got to share snacks. You've always got to make sure you have liquid IV or some kind of Gatorade or some kind of snacks to share amongst everyone. That's a really good way to build a bond. But also just like-minded thinking and people who are always open to just like talk to you about things. Whether that's feedback about the game, whether that's just feedback in general, people who are willing to check up on you, send you texts, make sure you're okay. I think that's all part of it, all contributing factors for sure.
Well, the last thing I want to ask you is, since you've been in America, what is your favorite food that you have here?
Favorite food? Oh no. There's so many foods I can think of.
Give me a couple.
Okay. I would say the cookie dough cheesecake sliced from Cheesecake Factory. Unreal.
What?
Unreal.
That's valid. That is very valid.
I can't even knock that.
It's been so good. On the first day I got here, we went to Cheesecake Factory. We were in there, and obviously it's like your eyes turn into like stars. You're like, wow. Between the 3 of us, we got 4 slices. When I say we couldn't even finish 2 slices between the 3 of us, we were sat there going, oh my god, there's so much cheesecake left. So they just sat in the fridge for ages. Sorry, Cheesecake Factory. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you all play this weekend.
Thanks.
She's funny.
She is.
She did call me dumb though.
She did.
That wasn't even funny.
And she did it so unintentionally, and I loved it.
And just kept it rolling. Like she didn't even gloss over
She
it.
said, you know, men just like to hit things. As women, you know, we like to think about it more. That's very true.
It is.
I agree to that. I do.
Actually, speaking of that, there is one thing, like, you know, again, we've both seen a lot of sports.
Yeah.
You know that I'm a huge fan of women's sports. The thing that I think is really cool about this league in particular is that when you're filming a game and once the game starts, you don't see women playing football. You just see football players playing football. And it's awesome. Coaches do not pull back. You know, coach here one time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, this is so cool, and knowing that there's actually like a professional women's football team is so like, it's so cool to me, because growing up, you know, I've always been into sports. I've always loved football. I've always been playing football with the guys outside and stuff like that. So like, seeing other women actually playing this as a profession, that's very cool. It eases my nerves, you know. It's pleasing my childhood.
Well, I will say, you were one of the most athletic girls I'd ever met.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Don't say that.
Not anymore.
Don't say that, because let me tell you something. I'm still there, baby. You know, I'm still here. I be in that gym 24/7.
No.
7 times a week.
That sound that Yasmin was talking about somebody making if they got hit, that would be her in a second.
Okay.
In a second.
Okay, that's so true.
Like, that would be you in a second. Yeah. Speaking of that, we had a chance to sit with another player from the UK. I can say it. And we had a chance to sit down with Anna Kinyasoye.
Yes. She was.
Boom! All right. Anna, first thing I want to ask you is, coming off a tough loss, what are you looking forward to about this weekend's game?
Our mentality going into the next one.
I think a team is determined by how they learn from what's happened and move forward with that and just dominate in the next one. And I think given how everyone's come off of that last game, like I think everyone's really hungry and ready for the next one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're going to see some really big changes.
And I wanted to know, just as we started off talking here, how did you start playing football?
So my background's rugby. So I played quite a high level of rugby in the UK. That was my sport. And I just kept getting injured. Like I dislocated my knee, and then I came back from that. And then there was like a freak accident where I fractured my shin. Who fractures their shin? Who knows? I can tell you, someone rolls into you. But it was just one thing after another. There was nothing I could do. I was just stood there. I was like, okay, well, this is me now. I heard it. But yeah, and I was like, right, I just need to put this down for put it down for a couple of years and focused on career. And then I was like, there's just something missing. So I went to a rookie day because somebody was like, right, American football, like they knew me. They were like, yeah, come down. I think you'll really like it. And that was it. I went to a rookie day and I was like, yeah, I get it.
All right. And where'd you start?
And so this is the start of my third season. So I've only had 2 full years of football so far.
So you said you played rugby before. What, like, from rugby to football, how was that? Like, how was that transition? How was that, like, different drive?
So the fundamentals of, like, running through people and, like, breaking tackles is the same. So you have that physicality piece.
Yeah.
But the I guess the biggest difference is the mental bit behind it. So rugby is very like repetitive in case of like catch ball, run into people, or throw ball, or tackle people. Whereas this, it's like you have your set position or positions, and then it's like right, there's kind of like things you need to know for each. So that whole like learning a playbook, understanding concepts, understanding what everyone's, that in itself was the biggest challenge. But that's why I prefer this sport so much more to rugby.
Okay. As far as that mental aspect goes, what was that like learning the American side of the game? Like, how long did that take you to kind of pick up on that?
Oh, I'm still learning, always learning. But I think as well, like my first position was tight end, so I got put in as tight end. So that was a really good position in the sense of right, we're learning how to block. So you learn little bits of line, learn how to do receiver things. But I had quite a few good people around me as like mentors to be able to like pick up the game and learn from the ground up. So because I already had that kind of like baseline of running, sprinting, catching from rugby, it transferred quite nicely. But yeah, it was the learning of playbooks that was probably the hardest thing. From my like the first team that I went to, the playbook was quite simple, so that was quite nice. But the step up to like the national level with the playbook there was like a completely different kettle of fish. Like that was humbling.
Yeah.
Coming to the U.S. and playing American football, how was that transition from being in the UK to like being in America? Have you been here before, or was it like
so yeah, I've been a couple of times. I came with work a few times, so I was in Philly, New York, those kind of areas. But this is the first time like essentially living in. But the sport is completely different. I would say the physicality and how much more intense the training is. So for us, like my training in the UK versus here, like number one, we train so much more. So instead of like your 2 sessions a week, we're doing like 3 2-hour sessions. So that in itself was a big step up. But there's so much more in and around it. Like there's so much more in terms of film review. There's so much more in terms of playbook, and just it's all these other aspects around it, and that's what's different.
Okay. How did you get to the Divas?
So there was a WFA camp in the Netherlands that I went to last August. And I was just networking in and around some people, talking to a few teams, but yeah, the Divas are the ones that kind of really sunk in. And then, hearing that Yaz was coming and Jackie was coming and I played with those, it was like, yeah, okay, let's all go.
I want to know, how do you like the U.S.? Like,
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it.
What's your favorite, like, so far you've been here, what's like one activity that you've done that's different?
The coolest thing we've done is actually just getting the e-scooters and going around DC at night.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's so, that was the first thing, like, we went to a networking event and one of the guys was like, don't bother going in the day, go at night because it looks so much cooler. So we were like, right, we're getting scooters. We started walking and we were like, this is far. As we were scooting down like the waters next to the, we were like, oh my god, imagine if we'd have walked this. Because we went after training one night. Yeah. So we were like, yeah, that honestly, that was so cool. And that was the moment as well, I think it also come for us that it's like, okay, we're actually in DC, we're in America. Because before that point, it was like, we've got our home, we've got our car, we're going from here to training to the gym. But that was like the real, we're really here.
That's awesome. Well, a lot of people don't know, I mean, you all have lives and jobs outside of here. What do you do for a living outside of football?
Yeah, so I run my own business. So I have a UK startup, and it's basically when you move home, we automate the address changes. So instead of having to tell everybody that you're moving home, like government, DVLA, like driving license and stuff, just automate that. So I'm running that remotely here. So alongside trying to have fun and training, I'm also trying to run a full-time business. Yeah.
And how's that balance? Like having a full-time career and playing?
Yeah, it's rough. Because the startup's going like through things of its own. Like we've also just been really successful recently in getting like into a program with one of the UK's largest banks. So I also was like I've been having to like prepare for pitches and like getting technology into there, and it's just been like right, I'm having to balance that with a time zone and also a team back in the UK while also being here and all the football commitments. So it's been tough, but it's definitely worth it.
If you were to give an advice to a young girl out there who wants to play American football but doesn't really know too much about it, what would you tell her?
I would say it depends where you are, but find the governing body. I mean, a quick Google search, American football or women's American football X location. There's always an Instagram or a Facebook that you can reach out to. Even reach out to people, you've got a lot of American female influencers now, so reach out to them because, the resources are there. Everybody that's in football just wants to help people get into football, and, even if it's not their team, they will help you find the team that's closest to you to get into it.
What do you think men should know about women's football that they don't know?
I think this is going to be like similar to the rugby game, right? Because women's rugby, like football is following like a similar trend to what women's rugby did. Like the perception of rugby was very much like, oh, it's just women's sport. Women's rugby is like one of the biggest audiences now for sport, and it's insane. The game is different. We might not be as physical, but the game is just as entertaining. And I think that was the biggest lesson with rugby. Like, there's so much entertainment in this sport as a spectator.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's all like I got a chance to see her play up close. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, she's really good. I like watching her play live.
I'm excited.
I'll tell you that as we go through here, we'll kind of talk more about this. But Emma, I think when you get a chance to see them up close, you're gonna really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I definitely am excited. Filming football is amazing. And filming women's football, I know that's gonna be like 10 times. I know the energy for that is going to be unthinkable, and I'm so excited to do that. I'm so excited to be out there with them.
There are some players I absolutely really. I gotta find out. Quarterback Amanda, I gotta talk to her a little bit. She can
She got an arm.
Oh my gosh, and she's a lefty.
Ooh.
So it's like roll left, roll left.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Okay.
But accuracy, she can throw deep. Like, she's really good.
Yeah. I'm so excited to watch this. I don't think you guys understand. I'm so excited to be out there with my camera. Yes. This edit. It's gonna be the best edit I've ever done.
Now, if I see you pick up a football while we're out there,
okay, now
don't even think about it.
Now, let me tell you something. Especially since we're gonna be surrounded by women and they all play a sport that I love. Of course, I'm gonna toss the ball
absolutely
around.
Gonna try.
Let me tell you, I could play quarterback.
Oh.
I could play running back. I could play wide receiver. I could play safety. I could play tight. I could play any position you need me at.
Right up until the time where somebody bumps into her.
Yeah. What he said, I'm fragile. I'm very fragile, but I love it. And what, man? Imagine me with some pads on.
No. You know, we did have a chance to sit down with one more player this week.
Yes, JJ Williams.
She's awesome.
She is. Her personality was great, so I just know her on the field is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, JJ, first tell me what position you play.
First time, right guard was my first position, offensive line, 4 years ago.
And how did you get into tackle football?
So actually, when I was a kid, I played elementary flag football. I had a coach, and he was always talking about the Divas, and I should go to a game and things like that. Didn't get a chance to go out to a game when I was a kid, but I did kind of follow back later, and it was just something on my heart. So in about 2022, 23, I had a coach, and she was just like, "Hey, come over to the Divas, come play," and I was sold. So, and I went to a clinic once, and that was it. So. Yeah, been here.
coming to a women's team, how was that? Like, how was that experience?
I mean, I will be honest and say it's been fun. It's been probably one of the best things I've ever done. Just being able to meet a lot of women from different walks of life all over the world. It's been great. A lot of people with background stories, and there's no problem with sharing. Always willing to help. Always willing to support football life. Things like that. Personal. You having a bad day, give a call. Hey, come meet me at the bar. So it's been great just being able to fellowship and just really have this big extended family, that's about 60, 70 women deep. So,
Where'd you grow up?
Washington, D.C., born and raised.
So you got to stay home.
Yeah, she at home. Okay, that's cool.
So when I got to go out and watch the game, the first thing that I got to see in there was that once the game starts, it's just football players playing football.
That's it. That's all.
What is your favorite part about the game?
I think the energy, I'm a high energy person. I admit that, I might be yelling, I might be screaming, I might be going 100 miles an hour or whatnot, but just, being able to play with women that are like on that same energy, if not greater than you, like they're like, yo, like, I'm at 115%. They're like, I'm at 200%. It's like, it's time to go like hit somebody. It's just great. It's just, that camaraderie and kind of like being able to have those sisters in arms and, go to work. And honestly, and it's our team, it's other teams, being able to like, of course in the trenches, just hitting each other all day, But after the game, it's like, hey man, what you doing? What's up? Add me on Instagram, give me a call. So it's fun. It's fun.
That's cool.
So, you have an upcoming game. What's kind of like your game day prep that you do before your game?
My biggest thing with game day prep is just making sure I get up, get a good breakfast. I don't like to kind of review my notes because at that point I'm trusted everything that we've done. Saturday I'm like watching football though all day. I'm like watching UFL games. I'm watching college games. I'm a Michigan fan, so big blue. I'm just saying, go blue, go blue. So I'm watching the reruns. I'm just always studying. I think when you play any sport or anything in life, you should always be trying to learn and get better. So just always just watching and just just keeping that thing just kind of going and just being that sponge and soaking up in whatever I can get knowledge wise. And by the time it's game day, you get to the field. I like to walk on the field. I have a very, strategic routine that I do. But just feeling the field, just kind of imagining, yourself going through those plays and making those blocks and, pancaking, because we love a good pancake. We love a great short stack. But, so just kind of like putting myself in that mind. So when, it's kickoff and that first whistle goes off, like, you're ready.
So what's on the game day playlist?
My songs? Oof. Wow. I got a lot.
What's the go-to?
My go-to is actually The Show Goes On by Lupe Fiasco. I have to hear that song. That is my song. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. So I'm a huge football fan. I love football. I grew up watching football. And with that, what was your favorite football team growing up?
49ers. Look, Bang Bang Niner Gang. So my granddad was actually a Niners fan. He was a Marine, and he got stationed in California for a little bit. So that was his thing. And then my dad is a Commanders fan, but my granddad, I was a granddad, like, hey, where's Pop at? So, I'm sitting there Sunday watching the games with him. And so, Pat Willis, Montana, Steve Young, like, Pat Willis is my favorite football player. I love him. But just, watching the games, that was kind of how I was close to my grandfather, so.
How much studying time does it go into playing these games? I don't think a lot of people appreciate how much time you all put into it.
It's every day. It's 24/7. Honestly, I mean, you watch film. You watch tape. You have your meetings. I'm trained regularly. Outside of our practice schedule and our training schedule. I'll train probably about 6-7 times a week by myself. So I have my own trainer. I'm on the field. I get into my recovery, PT and things like that. We have a great team of doctors and trainers ready to help us. So I'm always consulting with them about what I need to do. So it's every day. Honestly, it's a 365 day a year job. Honestly, if you want to get better, if you want to be great, you got to put in that time.
So we're gonna go back on a music topic.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist.
Or if not favorite, at least like top 3.
My favorite artist. Honestly, it's probably K Camp. I know people don't really. Yeah, I know. Like, see, look there, K Camp. That's my guy right there. I've been watching, ever since I was in college. Like, I've just fell in love. I watch all of his stuff, and listen to all his stuff and everything. So that's my guy. That's my guy. I'm not gonna lie, K Camp. ASAP Ferg probably a close second, maybe a close second. Everyone loves Kendrick right now, and all that. But, I'm not gonna lie, I was on Kendrick way before this. I was Money Trees and Swimming Pool, Good Kid, Mad City. So, they're late to the party. So.
Well, now, you already said that your breakfast is important on game day. What's the breakfast?
Oh man, look, we got some hard fried eggs. I'll do a cup of coffee, do some fruit. I do like to get into some oatmeal if I can. Oatmeal I'll probably come back to that if I can. Like if I'm at home. But yeah, just old fashioned, just kind of carb loading. Drink a lot of water, staying hydrated. I do like a cheat code I do recommend people to do is drink Pedialyte because it keeps you hydrated. So, and you don't got to sip on it like the whole bottle, but just enough, just because it does help. So just preparing yourself.
Good luck this weekend. We can't wait to see you.
Thank you.
Well, Ellen, 25 plus years. This league has been going on. So these women have been around, been playing, been training. I can't wait for people to get a chance to see them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I just know there's so many other females out there who want to play football but don't know, can't play professional football, and I love that they have a community, a league for just women to do what they love. This is amazing. This is so amazing.
The last game I went to, there was a little girl at the fence who was getting an autograph. And she
Really?
had a Divas jersey. It was really cool. Yeah, it's awesome to see.
That is so cute.
It's really cool.
Yeah, just know after that game, I'm going to be walking out with autographs. Everybody, I'm going to have a football with all their autographs. Just know that. I'm so excited.
If I find out you give your helmet size, we're going to have a problem. Don't even think about it.
Hey, Mr. G, what's the age requirement?
No. I'm not even going to entertain that. I'm not even going to entertain this.
18. I'm 20.
Oh, gosh. We'll be back next week talking about it. Our producer, Gus.
He's like, why you call me?
What a pain. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Toodles.
You bailed on the name quick.
What?